Hey everyone, welcome to the 2014 North American Summer Challenger Series, brought to you thanks in part to our friends at Coca-Cola. David Freak-Turley alongside me for the first time today, and I missed you, is the proud to be North American Aiden Zyrene Moon. How's it going?
I'm still proud to be a North American.
That's good.
We have some great games coming up here in the Challenger Series. Yeah, I kind of gotten passed around. I was with Dash, and then I was like, oh.
Passed around?
Yeah.
Okay,
like a basketball. Whoa,
maybe I don't want to cast you anymore. Today is a huge match. It's the battle for third place in Summer Series 2 between Team Solomid and Team 8.
Yeah, and Team LOL Pro took second place in Summer Series 1 and looks strong heading into the semifinals in Summer 2. But that's where the success train fell off the tracks. They were 2-0'd by Curse Academy last week, and in those losses, the bot lane duo of Heartbeat and Patoy, which was kind of thrown together at the last minute, had a combined KDA that was just under 1.0.
Under 1, kind of a low KDA, but that performance must have led to this week's roster move. The team actually benched former LCS Pro Heartbeat in favor of their former shot caller Low, who was with the team when they placed second in Summer Series 2. Now they've actually moved their old support Patoy to AD carry to fill in for Heartbeat.
Yeah, and if it's almost as if this is a mirror match, because Team 8 is also slumping in those two same areas, the duo lane and the shot calling. Last week against Team Coast, AD carry Maple Street and support Dodo kind of reflected my high school GPA with their KDA and went .66, which was worse than LOL Pro's the bottom lane.
Low GPA.
I know, it's really low. It's really low. All right, and their shot caller, top laner California Trolls, got behind early in those games, affecting his ability to manage when plays got kind of out of hand for him. He couldn't make the same types of plays he wanted to.
That's true. With a GPA that low, could you ever get into the Curse Academy? You went to college, by the way. He's lying. His GPA was high enough to go to university. Team 8 was also too aggressive in those losses. They were overly eager to team fight and gave up other objectives that they could have gotten, and that proved much too costly. At the beginning of summer, Team 8 were regarded as favorites to compete for an LCS spot in the summer promotion tournament, but in Summer 1, they lost in the round of 20, and now they could drop 2 series in a row by losing to a very motivated Team LOL Pro.
Yeah, both of today's teams have already clinched playoff spots, but LOL Pro can keep their hopes of a first-round bye alive with a victory in this match. So we'll see if that's motivation enough for them to win this series.
See if they can do it, because here's a visual representation of how Summer 2 has gone for the team so far. Two-time finalist Team Coast knocked down Team 8 in the semifinals, while Curse Academy 2-0 Team LOL Pro in that same round.
And Team Coast and Curse Academy will battle for first place live on the LCS stage in Los Angeles tomorrow. You do not want to miss that one.
It's going to be a great battle overall. And in the Challenger Series, whenever you win a series, you're going to get some points at the end of Summer 2. The teams with the 6 highest point totals qualify for the playoffs, and now all 6 points are spoken for, or 6 spots are spoken for. With tiebreaker victories against Cognitive Gaming and Zenith Esports, Denial have claimed the 6th and final playoff spot.
And the teams with the top 2 scores clinch a first-round bye in the playoffs. And so far, Team Coast is guaranteed that perk. Curse Academy currently holds the second bye, but if Team LOL Pro wins today and Curse Academy loses tomorrow, they will have the second with 15 points in that scenario. They'll have to play a tiebreaker game in order to skip over that first round in the postseason between Curse Academy and LOL Pro. Would be a little tiebreaker that comes up.
Might have a tie for second place. We'll see what happens. And of course, LOL Pro's got to win if they want that chance. To keep up on everything involving standings, tiebreakers, all you want to know about Challenger or the LCS, go to lolesports.com.
You don't need a high GPA for that. Under the Leagues and Tournaments tab, you'll find scores, schedules, and everything else you need to follow the Challenger Series and the LCS for the rest of the season and the playoffs.
So today's best of 3 matchup is just about ready to go. Again, Team LOL Pro going up against Team 8. Both of them looking for some points here in the third place match.
Yeah, both these teams may have lost their series previously, but they still have some talented players. One is in LOL Pro's top lane, Hanser, who is sporting a slash line of 18, 12, and 23, KDA of 3.42 in Summer 2 so far. He went really hard last time we saw him.
Yeah, when you consider the fact that LOL Pro are 2 and 3 overall map score, and that's a pretty darn good score for a team with a losing record.
Yeah, I think he played Mundo, and he was just absolutely crazy. And Hanser was somebody that was pretty overlooked by the other stars on the team. We keep talking about Laud is really good. Then there was Hoodstomp. Then we just had these roster changes in the bottom and shot calling. But he's kind of been neglected. He's kind of just been really under the radar, but he really shined that game, and we have to give him props for that too.
It's like the Submarine, sort of. He's like, you never see him, but he's actually doing plenty of damage, and he's been, I don't know where Submarine came from, but I feel like it works in this case, of course. I thought, yeah, he has been a great player, of course.
Yeah, and also, we talked about the return of Low. So up until this week, everyone on LOL Pro was sharing the shot calling duties, but Laud was the man with the final say in the mid lane. He's 18, 13, and 33, and his KD of 3.92. When Low was kind of just pulled out for Patoy. They lost their shot calling, and I talked to Lod, and I asked him who the shot caller was, and he's like, everybody's the shot caller. I was like, okay, and he's like, but I kind of have final say on it. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And it was actually very evident the last time that they played because they were just scattered all around the map, especially against the shot calling of Curse Academy, which seemed very concise and just dictated by St. Vicious.
Yeah, sure. It's a bunch of LCS pros who've like been around that scene for a while, so I think Low getting back in should help these guys quite a bit.
Yeah, and shot calling on this red side for Team 8, because we want to continue that trend, it's California Trolls who performed that role from the top lane. They were 4-0, and it worked just fine until last week against Team Coast. Man, California Trolls, he fell behind very early on. His scoreline, 33, 23, and 40 with the 3.17 KDA.
Yeah.
When he gets behind, he's kind of the hinge on which Team 8 swings. I've said it multiple times, pretty much every time we see them. So if he gets behind, it's like, oh, okay, I can't watch other lanes because I'm too busy trying to make plays in my own.
Yeah.
When he's ahead, he's like, all right, I killed the guy. Now I can go watch other lanes and push at the same time.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this a little bit in the pregame as well. These guys played a little bit too aggressively, looked for team fights when they probably shouldn't have, and could have just gotten things across the map. So we'll see if he's going to shore that up any. Overall, didn't have the best score himself in that game. Double Lee Sin games, and like he had a reasonable KDA. Like he had as many kills as deaths, which is okay for a top laner, but still, you want to have a team that's sort of more on the ball, is tracking objectives a lot more, and for a team with, I want to say, one of the like best roster stabilities of the Challenger Series with Team 8, you'd expect them to be a little bit better gelling and have like a little bit better sort of cross-map visibility, you know? Like you compensate for the fact that he's going to be aggressive all the time.
Yeah, there's been trouble in paradise in the bottom lane for both of these teams. Just some mix-ups there.
Yeah.
Of course, they have been swapping rosters a little bit on LoL Pro. Teammates stayed the same,
Sure.
but it's just having that little just bashing of heads for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
it's not an internal conflict or anything. They just aren't gelling the same way.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see who fixes their issues the fastest, whatever. Fix their issues fastest here. We are into game 1 of our best of 3 here for 3rd place. Team LoL Pro, of course, the higher seed. And with a win in this series, they could go for the 2nd place in the postseason, get that first round bye. Which would be good for these guys.
Oh yeah, you definitely want the first round bye, at least get in contention for it and be able to play Curse Academy, which will also be another display of power possible.
Oh, sure.
Because they knocked LoL Pro down to where they are now in the 3rd, 4th place match. You can get the rematch, then take it from them and be like, ha, that match didn't actually matter because now we get the first round bye.
Right, and you keep in mind that one of the things that's actually really valuable here in the Challenger Series is just looking like you're a stronger team. That appearing to be the best is really important because you end up getting picked by the LCS teams, and the later you get picked, the higher your chances should be because you'd be arguably picked by a weaker team at the end there. So showing off that you're the better team is really valuable here. You're seeing Lee Sin, Thresh, Yasuo all removed away from Team 8. Cassidy and Maokai off of Hanser. Do they kill his Mundo as well?
Well, there's another thing here, too, is that Gragas has not been banned yet. We know that Team 8 has a high priority on the Gragas pick because California Trolls want something that he's very comfortable on and something he can make plays on and kind of dominate the lane. He doesn't really play passive laners that scale up later. So that's a big thing of his. Like, he always played Lee Sin. Like, he played Lee Sin every game in the previous round, which is actually something I talked to Coast afterwards, and they're like, yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. So I'm actually surprised LoL Pro banned that away because it wasn't as scary as his other champions.
It's true, but apparently they just don't want to deal with it right there. Hovering the Fizz, it's cute.
No.
It is a Cali Troll special, but it's unlikely. Gragas does come through, and Gragas, gotta say, is a champion that you can really punish aggression with. You go a little bit too hard, you get knocked into a turret, and then life is painful, so... Even just knowing, not only is Gragas, of course, great, but I think it works well against the Cali Troll style.
Yeah, Cali Trolls... I want him to whip out the Vladimir so badly.
Yeah.
I really do. Vladimir, if you guys don't know, Cali Trolls is known for his Vladimir and his Fizz play, which is a little unorthodox. But when he's on unorthodox champions, he usually thrives. Like, I remember him back in the day on a top lane Kha'Zix, top lane Fizz. He's just crushing people because people are like, I don't know how to play this. And in the best of 3 series, you struggle to find it out by the end.
Sure. We actually saw that with SK Prime's top laner, Smitty, whips out the Riven versus Gragas. And it's like, yeah, it's like a free matchup. It gets hard countered. And we saw him in the the semifinal match against H2K, got ganked like 4 times by TF, still won the matchup. So
yeah.
Sometimes those random picks come out there, and it's worth learning them. But right now, Lulu going to be the pick there for Team 8. Could be Slusha, could be Cali Trolls. Also, the Elite Porpoise Pops, one of his favorite junglers.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they would pick the Lulu that early on. I don't know if Lod would actually pick that as a priority champion for himself. And there's actually something, because we've been talking a lot today, I hope you've all been watching, like good League of Legends viewers. We talk a lot about cross-region stuff. Rengar's very high priority in Korea, pick ban 100% every game. And then Ziggs, too, also has a high priority on him.
Right.
A lot of people have been putting the Ziggs on the wayside, saying we don't want the wave clear type of closeout a game. We want a more bloody game here. So I'm actually very surprised that that's not a priority here in North America.
It's true, but it's not, and you're right. It's funny to see the ways the regions move around. I do got to credit Europe, though, for being the general innovators of new picks. They seem to be first on the train. It's like Europe invents them, Korea perfects them, the NA goes, you're right, Korea, these are really good champions, and like skips over the fact that EU did it first. And so the whole NA-EU debate, I got you, Europe.
It looks really funny, too, because like EU innovates it, like you said, Korea masters it, NA tries to copy it, but our stuff is like a cosplay that's put together with Scotch tape. Is what it looks like half the time. They're like, oh, that's how you do it.
I mean, to be fair, North America won Battle of the Atlantic.
That is
you can't really smack talk North America.
Well, I didn't say, like, we walk up to Europe and we're like, look at our cape. It's
just a glorious Scotch tape cape. Why not? Braum and Ezreal come through Maple Street. He's been looking for his next lane bully since Lucian's still disabled for a short time. This time around, he's looking at Ezreal for that role, with every other AD carry on the table save Tristana. Ezreal, Braum, the bot lane here. It is a good combo.
Yeah, he wants some type of lane bully that he can play because Maple Street's been favoring Lucian, Caitlyn pretty much all the times that I've seen him. And then he fell back. He actually played, previously, he played some Tristana, and then it just didn't work out for him. Yeah. So he wants to go on another lane bully because if I look at his history, it's Caitlyn, Lucian, Corki. And then he has a Tristana game, which was not a good performance.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to play the early game carries. We talked about Ziggs a second ago. Yeah. That's going to be the lock-in here for LoL Pro, so a lot of area of effect power here for these guys. Just a high-damage team. Kragus, Jarvan, Kog'Maw, Ziggs, Nami. Pretty scary.
So here's another thing, too, is that they might go with a Mundo here for Team 8. Cali Trolls has played it in the top before, and it'll be against a double AP composition here that also has a Kog'Maw. So if it is going to be a Lulu mid, which I don't know if it is going to be.
Sure.
But that would be what I think it would be as a Mundo top. But no, it's going to be the Syndra mid.
Okay, so Syndra mid up against Ziggs. That will require Lot to respect the champion a little bit. We normally talk about Lot as a great Syndra player himself, but he'll be facing the champion this time around. Wanted the Ziggs, wanted the wave clear and all that fun stuff. Is his most played in solo queue. Can't really rag on him too much for picking that champion. Of course, very strong. Slushy, though, going to show us his Syndra. See how that matchup's going to go here. But teammate, what I do like about them, though, is they have, I think, really easy ways to get into the fight. Syndra sets it up, and everyone else can reach.
Yeah, that's true. He can set up the fight from a long distance. And I'm actually really excited here because I want to see Slushy on this champion because we've seen him on Orianna and we've also seen him on Twisted Fate. And that's all we've seen him on so far.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him on Syndra in the North American Challenger Series. I'm pretty sure he's adept at that champion. But every time we used to hear Slushy, it's like, oh, Riven mid. And he's so good at Riven mid. Yeah. And then it's like, no, Orianna's his go-to, then Twisted Fate, so he can go ahead and go to the side lanes. But now he's going to whip out the Assassin mid. And I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, and it's weird to see how the styles change up as well. Slushy's another player that's a converted AD carry to mid laner. Both these mid laners, actually, Lot and Slushy, AD carry became mid laners. And it's interesting to see what type of champions they go to because it's always interesting to me. So, like, Voibo is a transferred mid laner from top, for example, and it's like, who does what? But speaking of course, like, we're not seeing double AD comps, despite the fact that he's got to know this champion really well. And I'm kind of curious to see why that's not the case here, but...
Well, they did ban
the Assassin.
They did ban the Trist.
That's true.
Against
but they banned it.
Yeah. They banned it against LoLPro because LoLPro used it previously.
Oh, that's true. So a lot had run that strat.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You're right.
We saw it and it failed, and it was like, oh, okay.
Never mind.
Hard Engage kind of stomps that.
Yeah, just going to skip right on by that. So, Hard Engage definitely exists here in this LoLPro team. One thing I like about Jarvan, or Jarvan and Nami specifically, is Tidal Wave's typically a bad engage skill because it's so slow. It's easy to dodge away from, you walk to the side. Jarvan basically says you can't walk to the side. You're just stuck in a Cataclysm. It kind of allows the follow-up engage to land a bit easier. Same with Ziggs ulti, so I talked about teammate having follow-up, but I feel like LoLPro has arguably even more. If you're stuck in a Cataclysm, you kind of die.
Yeah. The 3.5 seconds of impassable terrain. Ooh. So all these wards from teammate being set up very, very early. And trying to make moves off them too. Ooh. Toy on the AD carry role. Last time we saw him, he was on support.
Yep.
And I talked to LoLPro's manager, and he's like, yeah, little known fact, Patoy plays AD carries. I don't know what he plays, but he plays AD carries.
Plays Kog'Maw so far.
Yep. Really excited to see what his synergy is like with Low, because they have Low back. And when we saw LoLPro being very successful in making it to the second place in Summer Series 1, it was off of the lotations.
Yeah.
I remember talking to them, they're like, we don't really have a star player, but it's usually off of our map movements. And Cali Trolls making a map movement into the bush.
You know, the thing about stars is typically they have 5 points. So you figure that entire team is a star, and every player is a nexus or some point.
You're getting poetic on me.
Why not?
But it kind of fell flat there. A nexus?
I mean, like, you know, with the points of where stars intersect when you draw a 5-point star.
Is that a... okay.
The vertex.
Yeah. That's
every player is the vertex on the star of Love Pro. There we go. Heaven Time gets himself a red buff with a flag toss. Woo. That's going to be level 2 for the Jarvan. He's going to start on the bottom side of the map, which means level 3 he'll be top side. Maybe that's a threat here for teammate. Right now, Maple Street and Dodo trying to get level 2 first, trying to get the push on. Looks like they are ahead a little bit there.
They'll clear this a little bit faster, and they'll be able to push them in. But the synergy of Patoy and Low is something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on, because Maple Street and Dodo, they've been around for a while. We talked about that unchanged roster, but they're in a bit of a slump. They step up and go against this new bot lane and kind of leverage that for themselves.
Well, right now, Low is getting a whole bunch of money. He's been harassing really repeatedly, forcing a couple of potions out of Dodo, who went deep defense, by the way.
They fast pushed that second one because Dodo was just sitting in the bush instead of assisting.
Yeah. Well,
he couldn't really because he would have been auto-attack harassed out.
Yeah.
But that's going to give level 2 to LOL Pro.
Low played that exactly right, said, Braum, you're going to back off. No follow-up there. Played from behind the minion lines just well enough. There's level 2, though. No real harass came through, and Porpoise Pops now going to be on the same side of the map as this Jarvan. He's looking to find him. No, he's looking to get around behind him.
He just trekked around the ward, too. Law does not see this coming.
Are they going to get much of a stun there? There's the satchel. There's the Q coming out, but not enough gained there. Just one cooldown, and Lot is away. Heaven Time not going to succeed top lane either.
Yeah, Slushy not using the combo immediately off the bat to get the stun. Enough time for a satchel charge escape.
Yeah, on service Cali Trolls, though, going to watch this matchup a little bit. Nice dodge in the Glitter Lance. So Cali Trolls going to miss a little bit of mana this time around, but this is 4.12 Gragas. His W is free, his sustain is large.
Oh, Porpoise Pops making a trek. He's going to get into that bush.
Ooh, he sees Jarvan.
He is going to see Heaven Time.
Porpoise Pops will win that duel, so they could collapse on Jarvan fairly easily. Oh, he sees him now.
Ah.
That's not going to be very useful.
Got ourselves a Demacian standoff.
Uh-oh, Shadow Isles. What? He face checks into him anyway, though. Heaven Time.
Ziggs backed off.
Loses a lot of health. Flag tosses over the wall. That was a strange one. Lod gets stunned away. Satchel charges away. Satchel charges away one more time. There we go.
And now we're going to see the trek up top from Porpoise Pops. He's just having a lot of pressure as Elise in this early game. Haunter, no ward here. But I don't know how much he's going to be able to get for it. He's going to start backing off.
All right, so far, a bunch of unsuccessful ganks. The laner's been playing very smart to keep their escapes up, to be on the correct side of the lane and just backing away. Heaven Time was sent back to base. Couple of wards in the Spirit Stone. Aggression, though. Slushy really wants his fight against Lod. Heal is burned during the Ignite, so not much health gained. Flash auto is gonna be not enough. 26 health left on Lod.
Porpoise Pops is right here.
Can you get him? Can he get him? Sees him.
Oh, he stops it.
Auto attack. Cocoon. Nice repel. Gets the kill. Flashes away, but the turret shot is gonna come through in time. Ziggs gets the kill, and Heaven Time gets the XP.
Wow, so Lod stops his back. He ends up using his flash there too, but Porpoise Pop ends up dying as well. But the first blood goal does go over to Team 8.
And an assist.
Yep.
There was a small lead to Team 8 here, who are in the bottom lane underneath their turret right there, and Low is honestly playing incredibly well right here. The Kog'Maw, despite facing the quote-unquote lane bully of Ezreal, is holding nicely in this lane as well. Looks like the fresh LoL Pro bottom lane so far going well.
Yeah, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Nami's sustain versus Ezreal's damage is actually kind of long-range sustained damage. He's kind of like, I'll hit you for a medium burst. He's not going to all-in you for the most part, unless he ease forward, and then you're just in a bad position half the time.
Yeah. But also just like Dodo can't seem to capitalize on anything. Like Low, he's like, he can let a knock up there onto Slushy, who does not have flash, by the way. Does knock back Jarvan. Lot gonna satchel for a little bit of CC, but Slushy gets out. And there's Porpoise Pops on top of the ward.
These jungle movements are fantastic, and the warding from both of these junglers are just showing that they are top-tier junglers. And they keep a lot of tabs on it. He actually starts ignoring the ward.
Gets knocked into the other, and here comes Lod, though. Porpoise Pop's got to be pretty careful. Jumps back to the left-hand side. Lod takes a Cocoon, and more damage. Slushy wants this fight, but miscommunication sends Slushy in by himself, and Heaven Time will have the knockup fairly soon. Slushy's got to be careful. There it is. Gets the hit into the air. Slushy one hit from dead, and Lod gets the kill. Miscommunication sends Slushy to his doom. And now in the bot lane, Patoy, he's got to be careful. His support left him.
He uses his flash and his heal. The support left to go clear that ward that was just left there for a tiny bit. And now they're going to try to all in again.
They try one more time. Maple Street's got to be real careful. Ignite is on, and there's the Braum Shield trying to block Low's damage, but Maple goes down. They did not see that coming, apparently. And now Dodo's got to be careful. Dodges the bubble, and here comes Jarvan as well. There's pretty much nowhere for him to go. What a beautiful flash, though. Does he get away? Oh my god, he does. I did not think that would happen. And here comes the TP. Cali Trolls wants part of this as well, but he's in a 1v3. Bubble's going to land. Heaventime has no mana, though. Cali Trolls owes himself.
Nobody has
wants
mana except for Cali.
Chase this one. Can he get the damage that he needs? I don't think so. But LawPro are forced back.
That was just a ridiculous back and forth there. And that's kind of the shot calling there from Cali Trolls. He's trying to make a play desperately in the bot lane, but he can't. The fact that he used his TP there, and he had TP advantage over Hanser, is going to give Hanser some free time in this top lane and a level advantage.
It is a lane that Cali Trolls was pushing. And to be fair, at least he got the bottom lane XP that, you know, Hanser's getting in the top lane there, so maybe it washes out. But really, TPing for an equivalent minion wave, not exactly amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty big minion wave. Granted, it is a cannon, so Cali won't actually lose as many this wave as he normally would.
Potentially. I mean, there's, what, 6 casters and 2 melees, and he's going to miss more than half of that. That's still a lot of minions lost, to be honest.
There's no sugarcoat in this one. Goes bottom, uses his teleport. He gets very minimal CS.
1 minion kill from that wave. Literally 1. Even if he was bittersweet Lulu, you couldn't have sugarcoated that one.
Well played. Well played.
Thank you. Maybe it's because he wasn't bittersweet Lulu.
There you go.
Why?
He could have sugarcoated it then.
Cupcakes abound.
So right now, Team 8 are in a bad position in this early game. They're going to go for a little bit of a desperation dragon here. There is that big ward there. They remember this ward because they've hit it a couple times.
Did he just... So if he knew the vision radius on that, he snuck in with no one knowing. Like Heaventime, he wards it, and he's like, wait a second. He has flash. This could be a smite battle. They know that they know about this. Ziggs is around as well. There's the chance.
There it is.
And smited away by Heaventime, and he's going to kill Porus Pops as well. Team LawPro keep finding the right play, but Patoy might have overstayed his welcome there. Great block by Dodo on the tidal wave. Maple Street gets the kill, and now Low's got to be careful. Bubble's not going to land. The knockup, the ulti's coming through. Maple Street's still alive.
Heventime's here.
The Q missed, but here comes Heaventime. Maple Street flash Q. One attack from dead. Gets it. Now Dodo does not have flash this time. Can they get the damage?
Ooh.
Not quite.
Just right at the feet there. Really, really good play from LawPro. They get the dragon for themselves, and then they roam straight down bottom with Heaventime. Just kind of misplays back and forth here from teammate, and the communication looks like it's breaking down. That's really something I'm noticing here, because if you're going to go all in on the bot lane, you have to just do it very quickly, cleanly, and then get out. You can't stick around when you do that. The mid laner and the jungler were both in dragon. Like, watch how long this takes. Heaventime starts moving now. They end up killing Toy. And then Low flashes away, and they keep chasing him towards where Heaventime is, and they saw him come in with a ward. It's just very obvious that this play was going to happen and go down with that much time available.
Sure, I mean, they saw him killing the dragon. He knows when that's happen everything.
And the fact that you have a numbers disadvantage, too. Like, they could have killed the Toy and just backed off, but they got very aggressive, and they look a little desperate for these early game kills, and they're just falling behind off these plays.
I think desperate is the right term here. We talked about them last week, about them slumping a little bit. They were playing much worse than they normally had, as you know, they gear up for their most important matches of the year now as they get near to the promotion tournament and the postseason playoffs. And they kept trying over and over to fight Coast, stop every dragon attempt, try to sneak things in all the time. And that sort of trend is continuing here. It's very troubling for teammate.
Heaventime going for a little bit of an invade here. He has 2 wards in his inventory. He's looking to get them down on objectives. He pings deep.
Vlad wants back to base. Probably Athene's in the inventory for him. Heaventime not spotted on the way down. Doesn't go in for it.
So, I'm taking a step back, and you know how we love to cover compositions and what they want to accomplish. Team 8, their damage output is actually very low.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's kind of a mixture of utility. And Cali Trolls, ooh, is he going to get... No, okay. Whew, it's close. Cali Trolls has utility top laner that he can't really make a lot of plays on. He's just trying to go even with Hansu, who got that first pick, Gragas. And then there's Ezreal, not a hyper carry. Then you have Syndra, who looks for the assassination. And speaking of assassination, Heaven Time, he has his Cataclysm. He's looking for a play.
Oh, Dodo went a little bit too early, gets Cataclysm, has to flash away from that one. Here comes the Tidal Wave, not gonna mean too much, but got his W blocked out. He could have waited on that one.
Yep. Ooh, Heaven Time's just putting pressure on all these lanes. He's kind of having more success than Porpoise Pops was in the early game. Porpoise Pops is looking top and mid. Heaven Time, he's looking all over this map, and he is causing pressure and blowing flashes.
Yeah, Heaven Time is really playing a great series so far. The Ward of the Dragon Wall, I mean, that could have easily been a stealthy Dragon teammate, right? They didn't get spotted doing it. You didn't see LawPro try to rotate down. It was just a Ward over the wall, and he said, you know what? I bet you I can do this one. Now, Dodo's got to be real careful. It takes so much damage. Now, Maple Street, the area of attention. It actually trades back against Matoy, but loses so much health for it. That was a very strange summoner heal.
Yeah, but Cali Trolls is coming in.
Comes Cali Trolls, and that's why TV comes in for Hanser as well. The Ignite is on Cali Trolls, trying to do the damage, flashes over, one more auto, gets the kill. Now Dodo's got to be careful, one hit from dead. Hanser trying to chase down, but he will get stunned. Now Lowe's got to be careful. Cali Trolls finds himself a double kill. The Ziggs ulti's going to miss, and now Hanser is getting chased down by Porpoise Pops. The Spiderlings are dead, but the fight is continuing. Lod gets the kill finally onto Cali Trolls. Porpoise Pops there a little bit too long. Gotta be afraid of Hanser. The ulti comes in, they trade 2 kills back, and now teammate once again a chase too long. Lod wants his kill. Can he find it? Not quite there, not quite there, but there it is. Lod gonna get the kill. Now Slushy in the mix. Wants Hanser. Ignite is on.
So close. And it's gonna get him.
He's gonna go down. Slushy makes it a 3 for 3, but bottom lane Adam Turret's gonna go down, and Maple Street's forced to flash away.
What is this game? It's just back and forth bloodbath. Everybody, all 10 members were at the bottom in 13 minutes.
You said it yourself. What is this game? It's an absolute bloodbath. That's what the game is here.
As this starts off, Dodo extremely low, and then we see the TP. They baited him backwards, so the TP from Cali Trolls happens on the minion, and he just rushes himself in there. The TP then comes in on the right side, and we see just everybody. There's a party in the bot lane, and whoever gets here first is typically going to come out on top. We see Slushy very late to rotate down here, and boom, Cali Trolls gets a double kill, but he runs into Heaven Time and Lod, and his escape is pretty much cut off at this point, and then Slushy is left to his own devices. This is just all around, just back and forth, and Slushy, the path he took, he was forced to flash over the wall, and then he's no longer a factor in the fight.
Yeah. And the turret does go down first at the game, 14 minutes in. Straight up lanes, these guys have been battling back and forth. AD carry's been picked on a whole lot. They have low CS this game. The turret finally goes down. No battle quite in the top lane as Hanser misses body slam. It looks like LawPro have switched to go to the mid lane here.
Heaven Time and Porpoise Pops kind of having inverse performances of each other. Porpoise Pops 1-3-0, Heaven Time 1-0-4, being a big facilitator of his team, whereas Porpoise Pops, he tries to make moves, and then they fall flat. The Dragon was a good idea, but he didn't have the coverage for it. And right now, is this a good idea?
Slushy knocked into the air. Dodo trying to defend, but can't quite do it. There comes Jarvan out the flash, knocks up Dodo, gets a Cataclysm on a Slushy. Slushy is surely going to go down, 1 for 0 so far. The fight continues. Maple Street wants something to do. Dodo going to be running away in the back line, so the chase still on. Heaven Time versus Porpoise Pops gets the knockup, double kill now for Heaven Time, 3-0-5, and more kills keep him through as Dodo 8 falls as well, and now 4v0 on top of Dragon.
And they just don't have really high damage DPS champions at this point in the game. This mid game definitely belongs to LawPro, especially off the back of that early game performance they were having Heaven Time.
So once again, man, Team LawPro just finding the fight. These 6-1-1 Ziggs from Lod. You talked about it in the early game. Man, we don't see enough Ziggs.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Lod's showing up. 7 KDA so far this game. Playing a great game 1 so far. 7,000 gold lead by 16 minutes. Rather big margin. Cali Troll's going to equalize something here, but Team 8 grasping at straws this game.
Yeah, they look very frantic, very disorganized. And LawPro, they look like they had their picks down. The Jarvan Heaven Time synergy with Lod throwing the Mega Inferno Bomb right on top of the Cataclysm. It's that guaranteed damage, and they're going to be near the center of it.
And honestly, a lot of it is teammate being overeager and missing out on summoner spells. You talked about that last fight, 2 fights ago, I guess, with Slushy. Came down to try to save someone, couldn't do it. Flash Dragon Wall. Then we got Cataclysm, there's nothing for him to do. LawPro communicated the lack of summoners. Said, hey, we can go for Syndra anytime in the next 4 or 5 minutes. Picked her up easily.
Yeah, the positioning from teammate has been very awkward when they come into fights. It's very staggered. people are always at half HP before the fight starts. They aren't picking the right fights, and then when they get into them, they don't know when to disengage them. It's just a very scattered teammate, which is a little uncharacteristic of them, but it looks like their slump is definitely getting the better of them.
A slightly missed ward there by Porpoise Pops as well. It doesn't see quite into the brush, but it will watch some moves around the map. LawPro get top lane first. Just Patoy holding the mid lane here against 3. Top lane outer surely going to fall. 3-1 so far in turrets.
And apparently Patoy can play AD carry really well too, because he is putting on a great performance right now. The fact that he is toe-to-toe with Maple Street in terms of CS, they both have the same amount of deaths. But man, Patoy actually surprising me, because I didn't know that he played AD carry.
They're doing reasonably well this game.
Yeah, his CS is low, but Maple Street
Yeah.
is low as well. There's been a lot of focus bottom.
I'm wondering how much is the focus. And hold on, first of all, Calitrolls does dodge Tanaka, gets one of his own, but now he's in the middle of a Cataclysm, does not have ulti yet. He's got a turret, but is it enough? He's trying to run away. The
Flash is
slows
so
are on.
close.
Hanser holds on. Oh, Mega Inferno Bomb, no! That is a dead Calitrolls, and now Heaventime gets counter-engaged on, though the knockup onto 2. Heaventime does fall. Hanser trying to run away. Porpoise Pops is around, but looks like he will not chase. 1-for-1 overall.
And Ezreal.
Close one.
Yep. Pretty close. The fight has continued underneath the turret. May have been effective, but that means that Ezreal is in this fight. Maple Street all the way down bottom, continuing to push.
So can teammate hold on to a 3v4 right here, because they're going to get a turret for it and more farm on Maple Street. Ruin King would be a nice item to have in this AD carry to finally break down people like Heaventime.
That's,
they can go.
That's the thing, is I talked about the damage of this composition. It's mostly CC and some disengage, but with this composition that LawPro has, with so much displacement, so much engage, and also Hanser on the Gragas, it's really hard to get away from LawPro. The fact that you have some disengage with Syndra, you can soft disengage with the Lulu, you can use Glacial Fissure, all these things with Cocoon. Teammate doesn't have the damage though. That's the big thing, is this composition. Ezreal, he hits damage spikes at like 4th item. You have Trinity Force, play the Ruin King, and you're like, I edge Last Whisper, or something along those lines. And then you're like, okay, now I'm relevant. Like Blade of the Ruin King, Trinity Force, you have a mild spike, but then you really need those other ones to just be on par with most 4-item AD carry. And even then, they're just going to hyperscale you with better keys.
Yeah. Ezreal's a guy who's going to need his items to do anything useful here. We'll see if he can do it. I mean, outside of just ulting back lines.
Yeah, you kind of need item advantage is the thing.
Yeah, you do.
You need to just push somebody out of the lane and then go from there. There wasn't enough focus on that.
That's the thing with the early game AD carries, is they are very spell-based, right? They're champions like Corki, Old Lucian, Ezreal, Caitlyn. Like, they've got that one really big burst spell. It's really strong, even without many items. And you hope to snowball that into extra items to carry on late game. Right now, not the case here for Maple Street. Couple of words still coming down, still has his yellow trinket. Death cap soon for Calitrolls will help him a little bit.
And I also want to jump on the hyperscaling thing, is that all other hyperscaling AD carries are auto attack based. Tristana, Vayne, Kog'Maw.
Yep. They have kids to support it. Attack speed is actually one of the underrepresented stats in endgame builds, so anyone with attack speed on the kit tends to do quite well. For example, Kog and Trist have a lot of extra attack speed there for themselves.
And Jinx.
Yeah, and Jinx, exactly. So, something to keep in mind. Ulti comes across, clearing a few minions.
Tower is so low. Rotation coming in here low. Being the shot caller once again is definitely cleaned up LawPro style so far. What I'm seeing this game, if this is indicative of how they're going to play this series, it looks very gruesome for teammate.
Especially when their star players are playing so well, right? Again, Vlad 6-1 and 2, Heaventime as well 4-1 and 5, really stepping up nicely, and even Hanser was kind of controlling that top lane against Calitrolls in the first pick Gragas. So, gotta say, good plays all around. LawPro get themselves another turret. Dragon in 30 seconds.
I love the fact that they first picked that Gragas and you just talked about it, because that was something that teammate looked like they were kind of banking on, and then they picked the Lulu into it immediately, like right off the bat. It's like, all right, let's secure ourselves a top laner. I don't know if they're going to pick the Lulu, but I always say this teammate really struggles in pick ban phases. They're very readable.
They are, and it's like, ooh, Heaventime. E came out too far. He couldn't land the knockup there. Wanted Slushie.
Did he even throw the E out?
Yeah, it was actually in Tribrush.
That was far. He chucked that thing.
I think he put it inside the wall and it appeared on the right side of it. It's one of those spells that will appear across walls and then Q doesn't reach anymore. You gotta be careful about where that thing actually lands. You can throw him short, it's fine. You'll still jump across. Just can't throw him too far away.
Ziggs is very hard to get in on a dragon fight.
Some good poke from Kogma. There's a tidal wave as well. Going to be blocked out by Dota, but the team fight engages, and that is support dying the mid laner as well. Solution did not even ult during that fight. A double kill for Heaven Time, and now, ooh, flash away from Cali Trolls.
And the mid-game and late-game comp here from LOLpro. It's so hard to fight a dragon when they have a Ziggs. He was just putting his Hex-explosive minefields on the sides, making sure you couldn't get in. Then as soon as you got in, oh, you're out of mana, I'm just going to chuck this bomb. You have no flash, chuck this bomb.
Yup. That's what I mentioned the first time.
Yeah.
Yup. The voice crack. I'm 27, I promise. Red buff steal coming in for LOLpro. They're looking good for this one.
10k gold advantage right now. Very close to it.
9.2.
Yeah.
You're rounding up.
I like to round.
I'm trolling you. And I'm from California, so.
Yeah. Cali Trolls.
There you go.
And watch this. The way that they're all clumped up, the tidal wave, and the fact that that Megan actually hit 3 people.
Yeah.
And it still ended up killing Slushy. Slushy's basically his contribution to a lot of these fights have just been snuffed out very quickly, whether it's just the zoning or the fact that he dies.
His contribution is typically 450 gold to LOLpro, unfortunately. It's just, I mean, it's just really, really great play by LOLpro. It's all I can say. He's playing a risky champion in Syndra, who's got to bully her lane to win. And Heaven Time's been all over the place, preventing their early game lead and crushing team fights. Like, what are you going to say?
And I want to talk about this too, is if teammate, just hypothetical situation, they come back, how are they going to come back? They're going to come back off of some assassinations from Slushy, scaling up Maple Street, but Kog'Maw is going to be even better, and the fact that you can't really close out on the Ziggs. It's so hard. Ziggs Gragas, ridiculous.
Yeah.
So much wave clear, and the fact that teammate doesn't have hard engage, it's going to be a problem.
And this is the thing, is that playing these low mobility AD carries like Jinx, like Kog'Maw, it is threatening to play against the Syndra.
Yes.
Because she can reach you from your auto attack range, period.
Ooh.
Oh, Porpoise Bob.
Porpoise.
Bubble, knock up, huge damage. Spiderling jumps up into the air, but he's got nowhere to go. Flashes the wall, stays safe. Now, is this an overextender for LOLpro? Patoy gets slowed. Teammate do not find their way in. Slushy's got to be careful. Again, the Cataclysm. Again, the Ziggs ulti, and down she goes one more time. Syndra has yet to ult in the team fight now multiple times in a row. And LOLpro win that fight again.
But every time they do that, I just want to be like, wombo combo, because it's just so much damage, and they're just executing it perfectly. And now they have their eyes on the Baron. LOLpro just making all the right moves in this game, back to back to back.
They absolutely are, man. And right now is the point where I expect teammates to actually start playing aggressive, because they need to go for these picks. LOLpro focused a lot on trying to take down this fight. TP in for Cali Trolls. This is very risky. He does go into the pit, but he's so easily killed now. I'm just going to let him take Baron damage. Goes into the fight, gets evaporated in the battle. And teammate are going to push him off Baron, though.
So the sacrificial lamb there in Cali Trolls to dissuade the Baron, but he gives himself up, gives up this TP. Hanser will have his up way before, so there's plays in the future that LOLpro can capitalize on. But right now, teammate have their eyes on this turret, Hanser on the side.
But the waves get cleared away by barrels. Hanser takes some damage, but doesn't really care so much.
Barrels or bombs?
Yep.
Pick your poison. They're going to clear this wave, and it's so hard to get in on.
It's barrels, bombs, and bile. That's the damage I put here. And bubbles.
Barrels, bombs, bubbles, bile.
What's Jarvan got?
Beef.
Big lances.
Big lance.
It's the best I got.
All right. All right.
It's not very good.
No. But it's the best you got.
It's the best I've got. True for a lot of things with me. Why not? Team LOLpro, nice. I like the flag toss to make sure he's safe across the wall. Heaven Time is, and out he goes.
And teammate just 10k gold down. It's a very, very risky situation for them. And they came in pretty much, in terms of these two teams, as favorites based on their track record, but they are just in a slump, and it's very evident here. And LOLpro, with the roster change back in, now Patoy's on AD carry, low, making the calls. It looks really, really good for them. And they're calling for the Baron now. And Porpoise, he just backed.
He's not going to be anywhere near this one. Doesn't buy home guards either. Dragon, not on the map. Baron sure is, though, for about 3 more seconds. Ezel, not in time. Good smite. Not even a smite. Heaven Time lasted there without it. That's how confident he was.
Yeah. Ezreal ulti flies by. I'm good.
Great. Yeah. That's the Jarvan way of last hitting. He's so manly, he doesn't even need smite.
Ooh. I wouldn't try that at home.
No, I wouldn't either. At least he has smite on D, though. That's the correct choice. That's why he actually got the last hit on Baron. He knew.
Because he didn't
just having it in the slot.
Okay.
Makes you a better jungler. That's how it works.
What if I just swap them and swap the slots? Because you said it's in the slot, and then I just change the keys.
It's
So F is D and D is F.
It's D for Smite, F for Flash. You heard it from Meteos. And if you're on a Dvorak keyboard, you're just screwed. Here we go, top lane tier 2 taking some damage though. 27 minutes in. Team LawPro looking for a way in. Tidal Wave hits a whole bunch, and so does the Ziggs ulti. Slushi takes the Lulu Wild Growth and flashes away, but Calitro's got to be careful. There's the jump in, on to 2. Laud picks up 1. He is legendary now. After Slushi falls over, the chase on through. Second kill picked up. Mikhails keeps Heaven Time nice and safe, and now the inhibitor under fire. In comes Hanser. Slushi rather low on health. Another kill for Heaven Time. Dodo ain't sure to fall. Only Maple Street left alive. LawPro crushing this game.
They are absolutely dismantling Teammate. 15k gold lead coming into this. On the inhibitor already, 27 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
Wow.
They back out nice and safe. I heard chat come through.
Yep.
That
it
is
looks
a
like
surrender.
it's a GG.
27-48. The Nexus blows up. LawPro commanding win everywhere in that game. They did real good.
Yeah, LawPro coming out on top. Get a surrender out of Teammate about 27 minutes and 40 seconds into that game.
Yeah.
Really, really decisive victory in LawPro. Man, they forced Teammate to go, all right, let's mulligan. Let's take another go at Champion Select.
Sure. And it's basically Teammate's got a rebound, right? They've got a little bit of time to regroup, think, what do we do well, what do we do wrong? They didn't seem to, unfortunately, learn many lessons from their semifinal loss. This still seems to be the downward swing for Teammate. And you know, we got to figure out what they've got to change. I don't know if it was necessarily Champion Select. I don't think there was like these really big comp issues.
I think it was their win conditions coming into it, and they didn't play to them. Is the big thing for me.
Okay.
Because they really just had Syndra Assassination.
Okay.
Then we had the jungle skirmishes on the side of mid. And then there's the reinforcements bottom. Like, who, as a jungler, which lane do you really visit over and over again? You'd be like, do I want to visit the Kog'Maw lane? That's kind of the idea, is you want to go shut down that Kog'Maw, get the Ezreal going. But they were losing by themselves very hard.
That's true. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if it's a comp thing. Because is it on individual skill? Because the thing I want to really point out, though, right, is I know Patoy's a good player, but when you come into a tournament match, do you expect the new bot lane, the converted support, to be like, yeah, I'm good to go on AD carry? Like, I know he's good. I know he plays it some, but like, do you really expect a new AD carry, a new bot lane to be tournament ready immediately?
Oh.
I feel like the chances of that are slim, and we've talked about Teammate already having struggles, especially in their bot lane. Like, I don't even know if Patoy's really tested right now is the problem. Like, is this Teammate still just not putting up a real fight? That's my actual concern here is this even a real test for Patoy?
Wow, that's those are some bold words there, but I mean, it's actually, yeah, that's true. It is a bold question. It has bold words in the question.
It does.
Not wrong. But Maple Street and Dodo, they're just having a huge slump right now, and it's really kind of affecting all of Team 8 from what I'm seeing. Because if you're losing your lane with a lane that you want to try to bully and get some leverage from against a Kog'Maw who's just going to scale way higher than you.
I mean, this is a lineup they looked for, right?
Yeah.
The first AD carry picked in that lineup was Maple Street's Ezreal. They got first dibs, I believe, on the Braum as well. I mean, especially when you're not picked against a Morgana, Braum is basically the best support right there. Dodo and Maple just didn't have an impact in that lane, and that is worrisome, I feel. And you're right. You're talking about the fact that, you know, how do you compensate when your lanes are losing? I think that's a real big test here. His teammates been cutting their teeth in the Challenger Series as an incredibly skilled team individually. Suddenly your bot lane is having a really hard time getting wins together, and is that why they're playing so aggressively? Is Calitro's just trying to make plays to turn the game around, and he doesn't have the backing to do so. Maybe that's the issue here. It is troubling for Team 8. And we've got weeks until the playoffs themselves, a couple more weeks till the promo tournament if they can make it that far, and they've got to find that spark again.
Yeah, and we use the word desperate in the middle of that game to kind of describe what was happening for Team 8. Because they tried that dragon. It looked like the way back in for them because the bottom lane was just struggling. The mid lane was having some troubles. And then the mid lane shows up. Laud makes a play. Great play by LawPro to recognize that they deserve huge props coming into this game and out of this game because they did phenomenal from start to finish, just keeping tabs on Porpoise Pops and then just shutting down Slushi and every other lane. It was ridiculous how well that LawPro played. And if that's how they're going to continue to play this series, it's going to be a good one.
I think it is going to be a good one for LawPro. They're looking pretty great. We're going to see if they can keep it up. We've got to take a quick break, everybody. But when in return, it's time for Game 2 between Team 8 and Team LawPro, so don't go anywhere. There comes Jarvan out the flash, knocks up Dota, gets a cataclysm on a Slushi. Slushi is surely going to go down. Monster holds on. Oh, no! Inferno bomb, no! That is a dead Cali Trolls, and now Eventime gets counter-engaged onto the knock-up onto 2. Eventime does fall. And some good poke from Kog'Maw. There's Tidal Wave as well, going to be blocked out by Dota, but the team fight engages, and that is support dying the mid laner as well. Team LawPro looking for a way in. Tidal Wave hits a whole bunch, and so does a Ziggs ulti. Slushi takes the Lulu Wild Growth and flash the wave, but Cali Trolls got to be careful. In comes Hanser. Slushi rather low on health. Another kill for Eventime. Dota waits sure to fall.